Hey everyone, hope you're doing well. The mainstream media, every time I either look on the internet or I look at any other article, it seems as if all thinking at the moment is leading us to the inevitable, and that is that they are prepping us for World War III. Now, I'm not imagining this. Just go on the internet and do some research on that, and you will see that there are so many mainstream media channels that are putting the fear into us like this. This is obviously a lot to do with the fact that Putin has just taken a ride in one of his nuclear-capable aeroplanes, and so they're hitting on that and saying, "Are we are we prepped?" Now, a lot of people probably have been prepped for nearly 5 years now. Preppers UK, Preppers USA, they've got themselves ready, haven't they, for the shortages that are likely to occur. Now, I got a question now. As worrying as what it is that we are going to a third and final war, I want to know, in all honesty, whether if the Great Tribulation was to occur in the starkest realization of what we believe it might be, and that would be that there will be no more wealth of any kind, and that food and water will become short, and there'll be many, many situations where we will be scratching just to survive each day at a time. That's what it will be like living one day at a time, maybe hours at a time if it got really bad. Just don't know. Now we've got that little bit of a glimmer with what's happening in Gaza, with the 1 million that are still stranded in Rafah. So we've got this little insight into what it could be like on a global scale. This is like looking through the glass, isn't it? I know it's very, very sad to see the starvation setting in and everything else, but that could be coming our way. It could be that if they start this war, they would have to then send us into full tyranny conditions, martial law. We won't be working. We'll find it hard to get food. Everything will be rationed. But how are they going to? This is a really good point. This wars cost money, don't they? Because you've got to maintain armaments. Will the Great Tribulation stop this war? I've thought about this a lot just lately. I thought, how can they continue in war if they can't fund it? It's not a self-funding exercise, is it? War, and they're going to have to get, unless they've stopped. I don't know. See, I don't know what they've done previously. They could have stockpiled lots of things that we don't know about, and for all we know, the global elites could have 10 years' supply of food in their shelters, in their nuclear bunkers. And there was a lot of talk about the nuclear bunkers about 5 years ago, and how palatial some of these deep underground bunkers are, and they have the means to protect themselves if they were to be overrun. They have weaponry and guns, very sophisticated guns in some of these underground nuclear bunkers. Yes, oh, the architecture that went into those. Now, obviously, we're talking about these billionaires, not millionaires. It'll be the billionaires. It'll be the Black Rock people. It'll be them. They're the ones that want war, and I should imagine they're the ones that want to get the population under control. And all the time, they will hide themselves away. Now, the Bible does talk about how in the last days they will hide in the rocks and cliffs, but they will not escape from God's anger. Likely, this is probably what is meant by they'll try and they'll know that their time is getting short. This is just my opinion now. No one else's. They will believe that their time is getting short, and they will try and keep on track with their plans. You know, whether these are the New World Order plans that they've got in mind, but they'll try and keep everything on track. But they will have to, at the same time, hide. And so, hiding in the rocks and cliffs could be symbolic or maybe literal. I don't know. If it was literal, it will be them in their little bases, believing that they're safe and they can't be got at. Well, they probably can't be got at by angry surface dwellers, because that's what we'll be. We'll be surface dwellers when they take to going underground a mile or so. So they've probably got 10 years' supply of food. Now, there has to be people that have worked on these bases, these shelters that they've built. There must be people that have worked on them. I'm wondering if those people are still alive. Have they had them built, and are they in secret locations? And those that built them, the architects, the builders, the geologists, are they still alive? I don't know. You know, I wouldn't put it past them to have them built and then remove all evidence of where they are, location wise. And for them to truly do that, they would have to get rid of people, wouldn't they? Now, I might be reading too much into this, but you do get the sense that this has happened before. I think of that series, Breaking Bad, and they had the chemical lab built, didn't they, in Breaking Bad? And those that were involved with it weren't allowed to talk about it. And if they did talk about it, it would mean their death. And that's what happened, isn't it, to the uh, the builders, the architects, the explosive experts. They were removed because I think the main one, I can't think of his name. It was a foreign name. Was he German or something else? He inadvertently spoke about this meth lab, didn't he, to his wife, and so they get to find out about that, and so there's this scene, isn't there, in the film where he just walks away, sort of nonchalantly, knowing that someone was at the back of him about to shoot him, and yeah, it was a bit of a sad scene, that, wasn't it? And then you see that the bodies are thrown in to a pit at the end, and then they throw a load of soil on top of them, and then concrete. And of course, then they built the meth lab, and they've removed all trace. I'm just wondering if something like that will have happened to those that have built the underground FEMA camps. Now, this is not a myth. There are deep underground military bases. I can't remember how many have been built. Was it 160 odd or something like that? Into all the major cities, and they're all connected by monorail. At the moment, they're not being used. You know, other than maintenance wise. I think maintenance wise, they'll have staff there, but they'll all be sworn to secrecy, official secret sites, and all that. But they haven't got any inmates in. I call that worrying. They haven't got inmates in yet. That doesn't mean that they won't have inmates in. Now, there is a lot of talk at the moment about how the Pentagon have got massive and great powers and could actually be running the country, because certainly Biden isn't. If anybody believes Biden's making decisions, well, they must be insane. So the Pentagon could be running the United States at the moment, all government decisions, everything. And they're only going to rule, aren't they, from a military point of view. For me, that's just took us one step closer to full tyranny and martial law, which I believe is coming very soon. Very soon. Right, change the subject. Did anybody see the shambles in our Houses of Parliament the other day? Wasn't it an absolute fiasco? Flaming heck, they can't agree on nothing, can they? Man just can't make any right decisions at the moment. He's utterly useless. He can't direct his footsteps. And who said that that was the case? Only the Almighty. He were right, wasn't he? Anyway, gotta go. See you all.